Okay, I'm making a new video. It's been a while. Kind of lost my zest for making videos on my YouTube channel. Really, the thing that gets the most views for me, I can do 1,000 or 2,000 on them, is reviews of stuff. Those are the things that seem to, maybe I'm best at, if I'm best at anything. And I like guns and technology, so it's hard to be like a technology reviewer, quote unquote, if I don't have access unless I buy it myself to, all kinds of, but there's a fair amount of stuff, I'm always getting a new phone, I can review some of my old tech that I haven't, like I have a Chromebook that I haven't reviewed. I mean, it won't do anybody now, they haven't sold this model Chromebook in years, but it's been a great Chromebook really, so I kind of always wanted to review it. So, I guess there's always stuff I could review, just my own personal, my TV, I got a new TV not too long ago. TCL, the one everybody talks about. There's a lot of stuff I could review of my own, but and I've been searching for a laptop lately, and I bought one from Walmart with no intention of keeping it because it was cheaper online anyway. Like it was an Acer Spin 1, and it was $389 at Walmart, and it was from Acer's own website at that time. The day that I bought it, it was $329, so you're talking about $60 less. But I just wanted to see if I would like it, or how it would go, and it turns out I didn't like it. It was too small, too slow. I could have done a review on that, and I returned it, but I was going to return it even if I had loved it and decided to get it. I wasn't going to pay $389 when it was available for $60 cheaper online. But I returned it because Walmart has a return it within 15 days policy on computers. Didn't have no problem getting my money back. Also, it was defective, by the way, so I guess I don't necessarily have to feel bad. Because it was weird. Weirdest thing is that only on like gray screens, it had like some weird yellow, kind of, like not super noticeable, but very noticeable, if that makes any sense. Like yellow squiggly background lines. And it was really weird because it was almost like burned in. And just on the gray, like if you're on a white background screen or anything, you wouldn't see it. You had to be on like a gray background screen. I had to actually Google like gray background or something to make sure I wasn't just imagining things almost. But yeah, on a gray screen, it's just something like burned in. I know that LCDs aren't supposed to have burn in. Well, this one did, or it looked like burn in. And it looked like a barcode was burned in, was the extra weird thing. Which later I was closing up the laptop and I noticed there is like a barcode on like the cover. It's much smaller, like it burned into the screen on like a 2" by 2", and the actual barcode was maybe like a 1/2" by 1/2. I don't know what happened. Somehow something got burned into that thing, maybe during the manufacturing process or something. Only on gray screen. But anyway, so it was defective, but that doesn't matter because I was planning to return it anyway. I decided I could have reviewed that, is my point. There's different stuff I could review, but I haven't. But anyways, or gun stuff. I got a new grip for my AR. I love how my AR is doing nowadays. ARs are so fun. But today's video is going to be a little video game fanboy video, which is about how Sony fanboys only care about Xbox. And now here's the thing that struck me the other day about how they only care about Xbox like this. Reset era. Sony fanboy headquarters of the world, pretty much. And also ultra left-wing headquarters of the world. Oh, Syrian Netflix Witcher series probably won't be white. Well, thank goodness. That's all I can think of whenever I see this title. Thank goodness a white person will not be allowed to be in a game. Anyways, let's see. Where the hell is the... I noticed that they've got a few, like 50 threads about Spider-Man, because every Sony exclusive is going to be blown up beyond belief. Oh, here's what it was. The Spider-Man review thread. So they made a review thread about Spider-Man. And here's the thing you got to understand, and this illuminates the way Sony fanboys think. What they care about is they want a high Metacritic game, Metacritic average, so they can use that in fanboy wars and goes like, oh, well, we have this game, it's a 95, we have 6 exclusives over 90 Metacritic. Xbox has none. That's all they care about. But it illuminates the fact that what they care about is system wars, and what they care about is Xbox. That's what they want to do, is bash Xbox. And by comparison, praise PlayStation, and the way they want to do that is with Metacritic. One of the main ways they what's the word I'm searching for? One of the main ways they manifest this is or surface this intention is Metacritic review score. So that's why every Metacritic thread on a Sony exclusive is such a big deal. And if it's a big deal on Reset Air about an Xbox game, it'll be because everybody's wanting the Xbox game to score bad, so they can make a big deal out of it, how it's a bomb or it's poorly critically reviewed. But anyways, the point is, the Marvel Spider-Man review thread on Reset Area is, that's how many pages it is? 88 pages. But the actual game thread for Spider-Man is currently 60 pages. So that to me says everything you need to know about Sony fanboys. They care more about this review thread because what they care about there is they want the Metacritic to be as high as possible. And I think it's at an 88 Metacritic or something like that, a lot higher than I thought. So it's just hilarious to me that they're more worried about the Metacritic score of the game than the game. And if you're intelligent, you should know exactly why that is. I guess it's at 88 OpenCritic, 87 Metacritic. Because they want to use it in Fanboy Wars and they want to bash Xbox over it. Not because they actually care, or they actually enjoy the game. Otherwise, you'd be like, oh, cool, get good reviews. Who cares? Let me go play it. No, they're obsessed with their reviews. And even these threads, at first I thought, well, this thread was probably made like 5 days ago, and this actual game thread was probably made like a day ago. So it's kind of not fair. Yeah, it says 88 pages in 5 days. I think the point would still stand because the review thread should not be anywhere close to the game thread. No matter how early it was started, it should be like a fourth of the size. But it was even, I noticed this one was started Tuesday, and this one was started Wednesday. So they were only started a day apart even. and the review thread is still significantly bigger. I imagine the game thread will overtake it eventually. But so yeah, that's the point I just wanted to make this little video about. How I see right through the Sony fanboys bullcrap, and if you're like me and you understand what motivates them, you understand why this is like this. Because they're more worried about that Metacritic score than they are playing the actual game. Just like in life, they're more worried about Xbox and touting their exclusive superiority over Xbox than actually playing and enjoying those exclusives. And that's on every PlayStation fanboy's mind. I mean, I know some PlayStation fanboys in real life, and even if we don't explicitly talk about it in those terms, I know what they're thinking, When they're talking about Spider-Man, they're thinking about Xbox, Oh, we got the Spider-Man and Xbox. I wanted to make some thoughts on the actual Spider-Man game, too. I really think it's kind of going to bomb. I mean, it'll probably sell well because they brought it out at a time when nothing else is coming out, really, except for, like, Destiny Forsaken. Which, I don't know, Halo does that, usually comes out in September. It doesn't really work. I mean, it works, but what else? Other games. I think Destiny always comes out in September. There's a few games that come out in September and it doesn't work. I always thought, man, it's a perfect strategy because you're missing all the big November heavy hitters and you got the September to yourself. And man, games in September probably sell so well, but it doesn't seem to work as well as I would think. I don't know why. I guess people just. My thing is, I've always said somebody needs to bring out a game in July. They bring out games year round, but you've seen more big games in spring lately. And that's fine and everything, but nobody will really bring out a huge game like June, July, August. And I understand there's like this thinking that people want to go outside and play and whatever in the summer, so it's a bad time to bring out but I've always thought somebody should bring out a huge game. I mean, a huge game in July, because there's no competition whatsoever. I really think it'd do well, or at least somebody should try it. I don't know why they don't. It's kind of like I kind of admire what's his name? The director guy. He directs the Avatar show. Movie, not the show, because I don't give a crap about that last Airbender cartoon. But I thought the Avatar movies, while they were a left-wing, political message, they weren't that great or anything. But the visuals at the time were pretty outstanding. And so I enjoyed them. Or I guess it was just one movie. Jim Cameron, that's his name. He directs those movies, the Avatar. And one thing I noticed about him is he figured out, you want to release your movie around Christmas, and it'll have this really long tail, and it'll do much better than if you release a summer quote-unquote blockbuster, the problem is you release your summer blockbuster and 2 weeks later here comes another summer blockbuster, because there's a lot of blockbusters trying to release in the summer. And so you're going to kill your tail, because they call it in movies a tail, like where, yeah, you may have a huge week 1 opening weekend, but then, do you have long legs? Are you still cranking out the dollars in week 3 of your release? Well, it's going to be hard if you release in summer, because, like I said, 1 week, 2 weeks later, here comes another summer blockbuster that's had tons of advertising, is going to have a huge opening, and it's going to sap all your, it's going to kill your movie. It's just the way it is. And Cameron noticed that if you release around Christmas, you have weeks and weeks without a whole lot of, big budget competition. And he used that to great effect with Titanic, that was released around Christmas, and Avatar 2, which are like the 2 highest grossing films ever as far as I know. So I just think that's always been an interesting study to me, and how Cameron sort of understands release dates and how you can use them. And I think somebody would do well to release a game in July or August. At least try it. But anyways, a big game, not a little game. But about Spider-Man, honestly, I'm not that interested. I don't know why, but it's hard for me to get excited about single-player games since I got into Destiny a few years ago. And, honestly, I try to be somewhat objective. My tendency is to always say a Sony exclusive, I'm not interested, it looks boring. So I try to be objective with myself, but I think I can objectively and honestly say the game looks boring to me. It just really does. It's another third person. The graphics look pretty nice, I guess. I heard it was dipping to 900p on PS4 base PS4, which is kind of, to me, a sign that Sony's feeling the pressure of Xbox One X. Basically, because games used to always be 1080p on base PS4 for the most part, especially exclusives. So the fact they're dipping down to 900p now means they had to amp the graphics because they're trying to catch up with the Xbox One X. But anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out. This little, how you got to understand the psychology of Sony fanboys like I do, and understand that what they want is that Metacritic score to bash Xbox with. And what they, how that's why you see a review thread with more interest on Reset Era than the actual game. And, I wanted to look at Twitch. Spider-Man's dropped to 3rd already. It's doing well. I didn't even think it would do this well. It was 1st earlier today, I noticed, and it was 1st last night. It's not going to do as well as God of War probably did, I don't think. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, I really think that this is not going to have as much interest or sales as God of War. I could be wrong. Plus Spider-Man, let's be honest. If it wasn't for the Sony PlayStation fanboy hype, who would care about Spider-Man? Spider-Man was what? He was a big thing in 92 or was it 2000? I don't even remember when the Spider-Man movies were originally big. But to me, it's kind of 2003 called, they want their superhero back, I'm sorry, but Spider-Man is just not the picture of hip happeningness to me. It's all this Marvel, Avengers crap and whatever. Which, personally, I don't care about superhero movies. I could go on another rant about that. But, I think I'm just too old for them. I don't know. But I just don't. I've never gotten into the whole superhero movie thing. I understand they're usually well done and people love them, but there's people who I guess follow these whole storylines involved in these movies and stuff with the different hero than comic books, and I could care less, I don't watch pretty much any of them. Just little interest. I'm not actively against them, something I don't know, Game of Thrones. I'm actively against that show. I'm not actively against the Avengers movies, Marvel superhero movies. I just kind of, I'm just not interested. But yeah, it's 3rd, which is not spectacular, I guess. There's Lyric. I noticed he's a big PlayStation fanboy. He always plays the PlayStation exclusives. And I came into his stream once and he was talking about, it was around when Sea of Thieves and God of War were coming out, I think, around the same time, I think, maybe. And he was all telling somebody in chat, I'm not going to play Sea of Thieves, of course, because he's a PlayStation fan. But I'm going to play, I'm going to be playing God of War, blah, 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 blah. I noticed right then, this guy's a PlayStation fan, but I don't know him from Adam. I've watched 2 minutes of his stream in my life. I'm not sure why I'm subbed to him. But yeah, I knew based on that one little convo he had with somebody in his chat. PlayStation fanboy alert. PlayStation fanboy alert. He makes a point to play all the PlayStation exclusives, of course, because they play on a certain piece of plastic. That's why he's so interested in them. That plastic is so important. If Spider-Man was on Xbox 2, he wouldn't give a crap about it. Just like all these Sony exclusives. But yeah, so I just wanted to make this video. It's 15 minutes now. Try to keep this down in size a little. Don't know what else to say. I could go through my whole networking deal. I had to redo my whole networking, and that was fun, but I feel pretty tired today, so maybe some other time. Alright, so I guess nothing much else to say, but have a good day.